Hey everyone, welcome back to the Basic Aeronautical Knowledge series. Today we're talking about runway directions. In this video, we'll cover how runways are numbered based on magnetic headings, why we always aim to take off and land into the wind, how to read runway signage and markings, and how wind conditions determine the best runway to use. Understanding runway directions ensures safe takeoffs and landings, making it a fundamental part of pilot training. Why do pilots take off and land into the wind? Right? Taking off and landing into the wind is a fundamental principle in aviation. But why is it so important? When an aircraft takes off into the wind, the takeoff roll will reduce and allow the aircraft lift off the ground sooner. Right? This is crucial for safety, especially on shorter runways or when carrying a heavy load. Landing into the wind also helps by reducing the aircraft's ground speed. This means a shorter landing distance, allowing for safer and more controlled landings. In addition to reducing takeoff and landing distances, taking off into the wind improves the angle of climb. This gives the aircraft better clearance over obstacles and makes departures safer, particularly in areas with high terrain. Pilots always check wind direction before takeoff and landing to ensure they are using the preferred runway. Understanding wind direction is key to mastering runway operations. Right? In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how runways are numbered and aligned with the wind. Runway directions are based on the aircraft's heading relative to magnetic north. Each runway is numbered according to its magnetic heading, shortened to 2 digits. In this example, you will see runway 30 and 12. As we now know, runway numbers are based on the magnetic heading of the runway, and this direction is rounded to the nearest 10 degrees. Right? Each runway has 2 numbers, one at each end, because aircraft can take off and land in either direction, depending on the wind. For example, if a runway is aligned with a magnetic heading of 160 degrees, it is labeled as runway 16. The opposite end of the same runway, facing in the opposite direction, will be 300 degrees, labeled as runway 30. At some controlled airports, multiple runways are built side by side to accommodate higher volumes of air traffic. Right? These are called parallel runways because they run in the same direction. Right? When there is more than one parallel runway at a controlled aerodrome, they are identified with additional designations. Left. The leftmost runway, marked with an L, for example, runway 30 left. Center, the middle runway, marked with a C, for example, runway 30 center. Right. The rightmost runway, marked with an R, for example, runway 30 right. Right. These designations ensure clear communication between air traffic controllers and pilots, preventing confusion when multiple aircraft are using parallel runways at the same time. Pilots must pay close attention to runway assignments, especially at large airports, where multiple parallel runways may be in use simultaneously for arrivals and departures. When operating at an aerodrome, pilots rely on ground markings to provide critical information about areas that are in use, restricted, or unserviceable. Let's take a look at some key aerodrome markings and what they mean. First, we have the unserviceable aerodrome marker. Right, this large white cross is placed near the windsock and indicates that the aerodrome is closed for all operations. Next, we have the gliding operations marker. Right, this symbol tells pilots that glider activities are taking place at the aerodrome, meaning additional caution is required when operating in the area. Then we have the operations on hard surfaces only marker. This symbol means that aircraft should only operate on sealed, paved, or hard surfaces, avoiding any grass or dirt areas. Finally, we have the unserviceable area cone. This red and white cone is placed on sections of the aerodrome that are temporarily unusable due to maintenance, wet conditions, or other hazards. Knowing these markings helps pilots make safe decisions when landing, taxiing, and taking off. Right? Understanding boundary markers at an aerodrome. When operating at an aerodrome, pilots must be able to identify boundary markers to ensure they remain within safe operating areas. Let's take a look at how these markers are used. First, we have white markers. These indicate the edges of a runway. Next, we have yellow markers. These mark the boundaries of taxiways. Aircraft should follow taxiway markers to avoid encroaching onto runways or restricted areas. Boundary markers help pilots maintain situational awareness and ensure safe ground operations. Thanks for watching this episode of the BAK series. If you're just starting your aviation journey, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on more essential lessons to help you ace your flight training, and check out teamaviation.com.au for more resources. Hit that like button if you found this useful and leave a comment below with what you want to learn next. See you in the next video.